Good, Mr. Mayor.
Well, evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Tuesday, July 14th, 2026 council meeting at 6:30 p.m. And we will start with disclosure of pecuniary interest. Seeing none, we'll move on to staff and committee reports. Councillor Foot.
None for me.
Thank you. Councillor Chalapenko.
None for me either.
Thank you. Councillor Scott.
None.
Thank you. Councillor Kirky.
I do. Okay, I have a museum board meeting. So we had a meeting on July the 8th. I think most of them were there. The only one that was Mary. Okay. So the grass seed that was planted in the spring is growing well now, so it's starting to look better over there. Okay. So June 20th, 40 to 50 people in attendance for the family reunion, for the Barber family reunion. And they all donated quite substantially, which is kind of nice. We also had on Thursday, the butter making, Thursday, July 2nd and July 4th, the workshops both fall with 19 participants each. And a lot of the Thursday's workshop toured the museum and the gift shop after. And on Saturday, about a third of the participants took a tour as well. Each of the workshops by the museum board were allowed to provide tours and work within the museum. The workshop, I'm taking this from Kim's minutes. So the total cost of the event was $138.58. And we had a revenue return of 195. So we made a little bit of money on it, but everybody had fun.
Yeah.
You know, and we had people come back the next day to tour the museum. July 18th, we're going to do a making. Hopefully it won't be 33 degrees out because the butter making, the one day the butter had the consistency of mayonnaise. And a 5-degree difference from one day to the next was the difference between butter and mayo.
Yeah.
So it was different. So the request for donations are out now for the Heritage Day. And there was, the board was approached to expand the participation to commercial businesses, vendors that do home repairs and stuff like that, to put up tents and turn them down because we wanted to stick to more of an artisan event rather than a commercial event. So we turned that down. One of the students is now transferring artifacts into archival quality boxes to make more effective use of the storage room space. And students working on the development of the Interactive Remembrance Day exhibit and the background design for the Waterways exhibit as well underway. And it looks like we're going to, part of our strategic plan, we're going to continue with butter making workshops in the coming years. That's all I have for that. And then Police Services Board, we held a moment of silence for the 3 fallen officers over the last 3 weeks. So we did that, and we have there's a new data option out there to use 5 years of running data for pattern recognition, because data changes sometimes dramatically, like a one event. So if you have a car accident with a fatality this year, but you didn't have any last year, your traffic fatality is up 100%. So it skews the number. So we're going to, the province is actually doing this. They recommend do a 5-year running average, and I gave Chris some of the reports, and that's just the starting of it though. So it'll Oh, no, that's fine. It's the beginning of it, so that the numbers will level out and be better as we get better at it. And again, we asked, if we ask for free Crime Stopper signs, if you know, I know this is kind of a little offhanded, but if we know somewhere in the township where crimes are occurring, if you put the signs up there, that's what they did in East Paris, and it works like a charm. They quit going there to do their transactions because they see the Crime Stopper sign and it kind of reminds them, so they move somewhere else. So, well, and the reason for that is there's a concern over drug crime leaching into the rural communities from the cities. And we all know what's happening. You know, it's just the way of the world. But so the OPP is currently working with the city of North Bay to mitigate that before they get out, because they know who they are. So they're trying to cut that off before it gets into our communities. And again, there are signs of human trafficking in our area, not in our township, but in our catchment area for Northeast region. So there's that. CamSafe, they're still trying to promote CamSafe. I don't know if anybody's seen the CamSafe seminar.
I haven't seen the seminar, I've seen the ads.
Okay, well, the ads are similar. Anyway, there's that. And Police Governance Ontario has a new registry for individuals on police boards. So even though I'm registered on the police boards of Ontario, I have to go through the whole thing again because they changed the format and nobody's grandfathered in. So every police services board rep in the province has to be registered. And that that we sent for Basin, it worked. It worked. They are going to open, well, I think it's an existing one, but they're expanding it a little bit in North Bay, which will be closer. And Cecil Pacer, of course, is going to be converted to a girls' center. So when at the municipal level, when we make noise, sometimes they listen. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Councillor Kirky. Superintendent McGinnis.
Thanks, Mary. I just wanted to give a quick update of what's been going on project-wise. The LSAS, we've completed all the ditching and frost heave digouts. We've got the gravel on, and so that'll be ready for chip seal next week. Bear Creek, the brushing has been completed for the bridge project. Kim and I have been dealing with hydro a lot, going back and forth. So I had a site meeting last week with one of the layout for hydro. So we kind of rejigged things. So it's a go. It sounds like the 23rd or 27th, it'll all be completed. So the hydro lines will be moved over and then ready for the contractor to move in. Hart Road, the flakes have been excavated in and covered over, so we're not gonna hit them with the plows or anything like that. They're in place now. They're heavy, 9,000 pounds apiece. So there's some good security there. Tenders, winter sand's been done. The supply and apply has been applied on the LSAS. We have a little extra gravel, so we used it on Wolf Lake and the low lying areas that flood. So we brought that up 8 inches or 9 inches or so. So we shouldn't have any flooding on the roads there for a while again. Pickup truck, the new pickup truck should be end of August. We're receiving it. Yeah, the pickup, for us for Alsace Road for the A gravel and B gravel, we're right on budget with, tonnage and what we expected to use, so we're right on budget with that. The Command, cemetery, a great big spruce blew over and it uprooted, like, it's probably a 12-foot, stump in the air right now, like with all the roots and stuff, so we haven't got a chance to get there, but we will, sooner than later to get it cleaned up. Didn't destroy any headstones, which was very lucky, it landed right between a few of them.
What are the odds of that?
So, yes. So roadside cuttings it'll be completed by Friday, so that's, out of done and over with. Bear Creek, we finally got a chance to get in there and get it compacted and, the spring, summer cover applied on it, so it's all covered over. So it cleaned up really nice. Then just the other thing, on the capital forecast, we've been pushing the lawnmowers off every year. We're gonna have to replace them this year. You know, Jim looked back, we spent $9,000 on them last year, and, the one burning oil and the other one's got some PTO issues, so. I mean, I don't think it's feasible to spend any more money on them. It's time to, they've got quite a few hours on them, so it's time to deal them. And that's all I have. I just wanted to give a quick update on what's been going on.
Thank you very much, Superintendent McGinnis. Anybody else on staff? Everyone's good? Okay, we will move on. Or actually, I'm gonna do a staff report. So this is my East Home report, and you've heard this lots. A little bit has changed. So the telephone system has been deployed and we're up and running. We've been waiting a long time to do this. The WSIB Excellence Program policy and procedure updates completed, and communications and training underway, with expectation to have 100% of the staff familiar with the new policies and procedures. Health and Safety Week, July 6th to 10th, with the staff barbecue on July 10th. Staff Appreciation Week was well received, June the 8th to the 12th, with the barbecue on June the 12th. Our audit is completed, report provided, which I've already told you. Our transportation operation guidelines are expected by September 22nd. We're still dealing with the HVAC problems, still troubleshooting. The elevator, the nurse's call, the telephone, internet are all on hold again. So I told you that 24 times now. So critical incidents, Ministry of Long-Term Care inspections on the telephone inquiry, May 27th, 2026. Complaint driven, Ministry of Labor inspection over heat. Order to update heat policy, which goes back to your taxes. So working on that. New policies or updates, working in extreme heat update, health and safety procedure update, health and safety training procedure. That's basically the Meals on Wheels we talked about at the last meeting, and everything's the same. So that's where we are for this month. That's all I have. So we will move on. So I need a mover and a seconder. Murphy. Councillor Foot. That the minutes of the regular council meeting held June 16th, 2026, and the special council meeting held June 30th, 2026, be adopted and published. All in favor? Carried. And I need a mover and a seconder. Joe Pinkel. Councilor Scott. Whereas council has received information from staff regarding the failure of a shared culvert located on Hart Road. And whereas the municipality of Callander has been contacted and advised of the failure with a mutual plan for culvert replacement in 2027. Now therefore, we authorize the purchase of 2 steel plates for the temporary repair of the culvert outside of the approved 2026 budget at a cost of $18,800 before applicable taxes. All in favor? And I need a mover and a seconder. Support. Mr. Kirk. That we support the Township of Armor motion 2026-158 requesting the province of Ontario to prioritize the development of new and upgraded highway rest stops and traveler infrastructure along Highway 11 and 17 across Northern Ontario. All in favor?
Do they have a plan on who's gonna maintain them?
Well, over the years, when I worked for the MTO, we did our own. And they had a contractor that they hired it all out to, and they went back to doing it. Privatized it. So, but if they do upgrade them properly, then they'll have to have a company because they'll be heated. Should have running water, so they gotta be maintained every day. So
Absolutely.
I hope one day it comes to that. So I need a mover and a seconder. Councilor Scott. Councilor Joe Pinkel. Be it resolved that the council does approve in principle the application of Samuel Eric Fagan and Cheryl Ann Butler to purchase part of the Shore Road allowance located in front of Plan 42M 559, Lot 18, Parcel 16429 NS Arite, Township of Nipissing. That this resolution is subject to the following conditions. The council shall select an independent search firm specializing in fishery issues, environmental issues to complete an independent investigation and report to determine the geographic limits where development could occur and to ensure compliance of the provincial policy statement. That the applicant will be responsible for the payment of all the municipality's administrative, legal accounts, and environmental impact study costs in connection with the processing of this application. Then in accordance with the ministry or municipality's policies, notice of a copy of the draft plan will be mailed to the adjacent landowners. John Paul, would you like to?
Okay, everybody remembered the bag yet? So we just gave him a little piece of the driveway to the neighbors. I think he's 94 5 Hinchburger Bay Road. Yeah, so he's got that little section of driveway he transferred over to neighbors, just in the committee of adjustment. And then they did a zoning bylaw amendment because their lot was undersized. That was that application, if you remember, but they had a little piece of shore road allowance in front of it that they're looking to purchase. Now the property is within, the lands are within 120 meters of a known fish habitat area, so they will have to get a study. It was close, but it was within it, so they'll have to get a fish habitat study as part of the condition on the draft resolution.
If, like, we contract with Fish Habitat Study, right?
Yes, we do.
But they pay for it.
Yeah,
What happens if the Fish Habitat Study says, no, that's too close?
you pay for it.
They pay for it anyway?
It's a chance.
That's why we take a $2,500 deposit as well.
Oh, okay. And what do these studies normally run?
Depends on-
Yeah. Sometimes, I think the last one was around 1700.
Yeah.
Also, not too much.
It's not terrible.
We're not into the thousands. and
No,
thousands.
no.
And the applicant is advised of the risks. And if they choose to move forward,
We always send them the quote ahead of time, and then they say,
they
okay, go
authorize it.
ahead, and then we go ahead.
Okay,
They never just do it in kind of carte blanche.
but if they go ahead and they say they can't do it, and they turn down the application to purchase, they still have to pay for it?
Yes,
Okay. I just,
So, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
other questions there. Good.
It's all in favor. Seconder. Counselor Foot. The council receives and approves the 2025 and 2026 asset management annual report prepared for submission to the province of Ontario. And I want Chris to speak to this, please.
Certainly. So with the asset management, we had given a review at budget time, but we forwarded those notes onto Garnet Renew. Is it Renew? And they helped us with our asset management plan, and he helped put those notes into what the province requires for our annual report. This is the result. And it also has where we've met the levels of service and the next steps. So then we submit this to the province, and then we have the template moving forward.
Really, all this, none of it's really 100% written in stone gonna happen, or,
So this is a report on what has happened.
okay,
And then there's the next steps that we anticipate following that asset management report. But when there are issues that arise, we can change around our capital forecast if required.
yeah,
And then we do a 10-year capital plan
Yeah, based on the asset
based on the
management.
asset management.
I just noticed here, fire truck 11. Sorry, 2011. Up to.
Mhm.
This estimated cost of replacement is approximately 500,000.
That's updated now. I think we haven't
Yeah, that's-
updated.
I'm just,
That's from our asset management plan. That's the
Mhm.
actual figure we have in there. So we'll just move that up when we do our capital forecast. For the
oh,
next-
So it's
okay,
much
yeah,
higher?
because I was,
Yes, much.
oh, yeah. Yeah. I
Couple
have to
hundred
go
thousand
up
more.
by how much?
Thousand.
Oh, at least, yeah,
Probably around 7.
because I just noticed that when I was reading that earlier, that's why I highlighted it out.
Yeah.
Mm.
What about? I know it's probably for the future, but we're missing some of our assets here, like there's no cemeteries on here or boat
No, we don't
launches.
consider the cemeteries assets.
What about like boat launches? Cause we have that in Mquabi or,
That's on our capital forecast
okay,
for future.
and that doesn't go into, like, we're letting the province know what we've been up on and,
This is our report for 25-26. What we've done. Yeah, we haven't done the boat launch, but it is on the capital forecast. And it is in the asset management plan that they also have a copy of.
yeah, now how do we get, a copy of that?
The asset management plan?
Yeah.
We provided one when it was approved by council.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, I have one, but do we have one online anymore? Do we have to ask? for
Should be
an update?
online. There's one online.
Current one,
I
yeah?
understand that somebody used a Google search and couldn't find it, but if you actually go to our website
Mm-hmm,
and use the search bar in our website and put in asset management plan, it brings up everything you're looking for.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do we have anything on there with the ice shack launches and stuff like that, or is that the same as the boat launches?
We don't have an official ice shack launch.
We don't, okay.
People use the area across from our parking area, but that's not maintained by us. It was just cleared from the road.
Is there one, on Lake Nipissing Road?
That's privately owned.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay,
the ramps were,
Yes, the ramp is privately owned, the government dock is ours.
and that doesn't launch anything, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Council, sorry, Chris, Council Chalabanco, it does mention Chapman Landing dock on here,
Mhm.
it's anticipated work. So in a couple of years, Mquabi Lake has got some anticipated work, so that would be in that report coming forward. So this report just is highlighted what's happened,
It's been
this
done.
report, and then going forward, it's a requirement of the regulation, so,
Okay,
so.
thank
But we're
you.
only looking at the next year
Year.
in these next steps. So before we launch
This
this
is a few years.
couple of years forward, if you look at the
Okay.
capital forecast.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. And I need a mover and a seconder. Right. Whereas the Build Community Strong Fund direct delivery stream has been released, and whereas the Township of Nipissing and the municipality of Powassan are actively seeking funding to assist with the replacement of the Hummel Bridge. Now therefore, council authorizes the submission funding application for the PCSF direct delivery stream for funding assistance with replacement of the Hummel Bridge. All in favor? Yes.
Sorry, we had put on the agenda that it was actually for the local impact stream. So when we looked into that, that one is for heritage and recreation, and it's got $1 million cap. But they directed us to another stream, and so when we went there, this is the direct delivery stream, and this is for the larger projects, like what we're looking for. So this is the federal contribution, so we can apply for up to 1.9 million on this one. And we've put in here that we're also going to be applying for the provincial section when it comes out. And we have heard from Victor Daly's office and from Pauline Rochford's office that that should be announced fairly soon, hopefully. And we're ready to submit that application. So this is the federal application. It's completed. It's been shared with Powassan. They're providing us with a letter of support, I believe, after tonight. And it is to be submitted tomorrow. The turnaround was 9 days.
Is there a cap on it?
They'll give us 40%, so 1.9.
Cool.
So we'll go for 40% hopefully with the province, and that leaves 1 million between the two municipalities. That was what we had planned originally. So we're working on that. That gets submitted tomorrow. See where we go with this. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's good. All in favor? Carried. And I need a mover and a seconder. Scott. Joe. That we confirm the appointment of firefighters to the Township and Nipissing Fire Department as listed in Appendix A attached to this resolution.
Do we have enough, staff? We're happy with it? Are we hiring any more?
Until the new year. Because it's quite a job with mandatory certification and stuff.
Yep.
We're gonna give, all the officers and staff a break until the new year. We'll be looking at 3 to 4.
Oh, awesome.
We're okay now.
The reason that we do this by resolution per quarter is to show council who's on our roster and to provide proof if required of who is accepted by council on the roster.
Good? All in favor? Carried.
You said the letters.
Yes. Now, do you want to speak to these?
It's up to council. I reviewed them, but these are addressed to council for discussion.
Yep, everyone got a copy
We received 2 public comments
for our council.
for our councilors.
Thank you.
I emailed it out, but here's your.
I read Rob Reynolds, Rob Reynolds, and he's got legit points, very legit points, and I don't necessarily disagree with what he's saying. Like, I think what he's saying makes a lot of sense, and I think that's what our constituents tell. They're saying to us, hey, you know, Shelley, you didn't get in, you missed it by 5 votes. If a vacancy comes up, why would you not come to me and say, hey, Shelley, there's a spot open, do you want it? And I think that's what
But what if you
our
missed it by
township said.
200 votes?
Well, but what he's saying in this is, now what you're doing is saying 5 people around the table get to choose somebody that nobody voted for.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like,
Yeah,
But why should us have to run around and chase somebody?
we
to
just
see
put
if
it out
want
there
to-
once. You
to
just put it out
see-
there once. That's where Chris could go to once and say, hey, Shelley,
And how far back down that list you willing to go?
I think you, I don't know, but I think it's,
You would know who's interested in that.
well,
right
yes,
off the
because if
top.
they put their name out there and they put themselves out there to put themselves up for council and to run for council, they're interested.
Yeah,
It's up to them to say, no, it's no different than, like, if you were to go to James and say, hey, James, you know, deputy mayor position's open, he has the right to say, not interested. So at least then that person has the right to say, no, I'm not interested.
I've seen people run, not get in. And then leave all the committees and leave everything and basically pout, go away, and then now you're gonna maybe offer them that job back again. That's, I think it's,
I don't,
me personally, I think you have to weigh, there's more options. Because you could have, say, as last time when I got a past counselor, so you don't have a lame duck counsel for a little while. There's other things to look at other than the person, the last person that just didn't get in by enough votes.
I'm just saying, I think we have to.
I'm not
I
saying
think
that,
part of it is we have to listen to our township.
I like his idea
I like it.
up to 2 years.
Yeah.
So if you ran and you're 5th, up until 2 years, you're the first one asked. But after that, everybody's interests change. Well, I can get in.
But they can say no.
That's right.
And if
So-
they all say no, then we have every right in the world as a council table to
Oh,
say,
yeah,
we
absolutely.
need somebody. So now we're gonna put it out there. I think that's when we have the right, we give them the right to say no, but then we have the right to say, we need somebody, and everybody said no.
May I make a suggestion?
Sure.
What if you put on that a caveat that says, as long as the candidate received a certain percentage of the vote?
That works.
Of the votes cast, they must have received a certain percentage. So that you're reflecting what the public is actually saying.
Yeah, like you're not gonna go to me and I got 10 votes. And then you're not gonna say, Shelley, hey, the constituent wanted you, therefore.
So we have to be careful how we put that into words,
Yes, but
obviously.
Yeah,
But that's where, after the 2 years, would make sense as well. But for
Because we're
the,
halfway through the term.
that's correct. And a lot of people move and change.
Yeah.
But,
People move in and new people move in too.
correct. And you can certainly do that and say that after 2 years, you would go to that. But for the first 2 years, like the next candidate, as long as they received percentage.
yeah,
Because
good idea.
we have
the
seen way back when I first came around, there was an election where a candidate had put their name in and they weren't as popular as they'd hoped. And so I think that has to be reflected because the residents spoke then as well.
And I agree, and I think you're right, I think it's a percentage, right? Like you can't be 1% of the vote.
Correct.
Now, what do we say that number is? Do we say it's 10? Do we say it's 15? I don't know, but I think we have to reflect what people are thinking and saying. Of course.
You're right, correct.
And
both
this
sides.
reflects their opinion.
So if we were to go back through the last 5 elections and take from the number of people who voted, who cast their vote, and we could come up with a percentage that would be applicable, we could bring that back.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that would be
good
fair.
idea. Yeah,
I like that idea.
Okay, and then we'll just take an average so that we're not picking one.
So are we going to write up a proposal?
We have this draft, so I would suggest that we add on to this draft and add those in front of it so that should we have to go to someone putting in an expression of interest and going that route, we have these rules in place. But we'll add those
Yeah.
sections in front of it. In fact, that's fair.
I like that.
good idea.
I do.
And then we can bring it back as a draft at the next council meeting and then have more conversation. It doesn't have to be passed.
I read this and I went, it's everything that,
Yeah.
I think both
It's a good
letters
idea.
had great
Yeah.
ideas and
Yeah.
I really am surprised that it's such an argued issue. And I love it because everybody,
Well,
Yeah, 20% of the
input.
population voted.
well, and so maybe this is gonna get people more interested in
Yeah.
showing up at the election.
yeah.
we'll definitely work on another draft and implement some of those ideas into the draft and bring it back to the next council meeting.
Thank you. Mhm.
And we will move on to correspondence. Resolution from Peterborough County requesting the provincial government to assist in ensuring accuracy in the elections list.
Is this a huge problem?
Huge.
It is.
Really? Like how,
But I don't believe that the resolution telling them to do it. We already have our PLE.
yeah.
We
Is
have
this
our
gonna do
draft
anything?
preliminary list of electors. We've already gone through and stroked out the people who are deceased and stroked out the people who are duplicated. I have to put that into the portal tomorrow. But there are municipalities where entire neighborhoods were missed. So the conversion from MPAC doing it to Elections Ontario wasn't as smooth as they hoped. But in the next election,
There was a first piece, if I may interrupt, like where we had to confirm all the streets and the wards and the areas, so. In our township, it was a little bit, I'm gonna say, easier to confirm some of that information. You can imagine the city of Toronto or some of the bigger cities, neighborhoods could be missed. So, but we were able to easily go through with our CGIS street list and our street list. And they had even added a few streets to our, and we said, we don't have, certain street names, but they had missed a couple of streets, which we were able to add. So that was good. So then they were to capture it, and as Chris said, to go through our preliminary electors list and then go through and make sure it's accurate, and go through those duplicated list, names and what have you, so.
So an example of what I think they missed, how we do things. Let's say that in the conversion, Elections Ontario said, please go through the portal and tell us of any deceased residents that are on your list. Well, they wanted us to look them up by name. So we have to look up, and we were supposed to know this. That doesn't make any sense. So we reached out and said, can we have a draft preliminary list to go through? And then I'll tell you who I see on there. And then I was able to pull obituary copies, attach them to the list. So we have the backup to prove that we have the authorization to alter the list, because you always have to have that backup. And then we managed to find quite a few duplicate entries that.
Yeah, and we could also do that from lawyers' papers, from survivorship deeds and things like that. So we had a number of options to do that. There'll still be things that will come in, but we'd rather do that before we send out voters cards. So
We don't send out voters cards.
or the information that we send out, so.
No, but in other municipalities, they do send out voters cards. And so that was where the address things were, very important. I know there were several frustrated municipalities.
These are the larger ones.
We're very fortunate because we can go through our list and pretty much know who should be on it, except for some of the newer ones,
You know
but
where they live.
pretty much. And going through, I could identify names. Oh, that person passed away and that person passed away, and you just know. So we've done a lot of work with the PLE. We're still continuing to work because it's not going to be finished till September. Yeah. So I don't believe that a resolution to them would be sufficient. We give feedback directly to Elections Ontario. I sat on the committee for Zone 7 for ACTO in the very beginning a few years ago. So we've already given our feedback. This was still the results, so I think it's just wrong.
There.
I can talk about election all night, it's okay.
All right, we'll move on. Resolution from the Township of Push Lynch supporting amendments to the Planning Act, moving zoning enforcement and administrative monetary penalties, which.
We're moving that way. We're doing some more research in a couple of weeks.
Go ahead.
So that would be the, once you issue a fine, it goes on there. That would be like the.
We collect it.
We collect it, but if they don't pay it, then they don't get to renew their license. until
That's at the province level. We're looking at more of a municipal level. So this is administrative monetary penalties, where instead of writing a ticket and having them pay it at the courthouse, we write the ticket and it comes to us. So we're skipping that step.
And it would go on property taxes if it was.
We'll have a staff report once we gain more
We have to
information.
figure out those items, and that's why we're going to take some education in a few weeks.
Awesome.
Resolution from the Town of Caledon requesting increased support from the provincial government to address tick-borne diseases. So that'll be more of a health unit that's got.
We're talking about education. There's not really anything they can do.
No. Media release from Phenom Federation of Northern Ontario Municipalities regarding continued requests for safety improvements to Highway 11 and 17, which we've already been involved in. Phenom's comments submitted for the public consultation on the future of the Billy Bishop Toronto City Airport. Fill that water in. Resolution from the Town of Whitby requesting the province review the powers and purpose of the Ontario Land Tribunal. Resolution from the city of Mississauga requesting a provincial review of support guidelines for emergency shelters serving women and children experience intimate partner violence. Resolution from the village of Burks Falls regarding support for the cancer oncology clinic at the Huntsville Memorial Hospital. Now, Chris and I spoke of this, but it's not in our area.
Yeah, people in our area are usually sent to Sudbury, that's our catchment area, so yes, it's Treasure South.
Copy of correspondence from the North Bay Prairie Sound District Health Unit to the minutes of health, or, yeah, it says
To the Ministry.
Ministry of Health. Just saw that. Health requesting the increase to reimbursement rate for the Health Smiles Ontario schedule for dental services and fees. Minutes from the North Bay Prairie Sound District Health Unit Board of Health and the Finance and Property Committee meetings held April 22nd, 2026. Minutes from the Powassan and District Union Public Library Board meeting held May 25th, 2026 and June 15th, 2026. Thank you for support from Mount Magdalen Highlands Secondary School Graduation Program. Thank you for support from Trout Creek Agricultural Society. And I need a mover and a seconder. Councilor Kirky. That we receive the correspondence reported as presented. All in favor? Carried. And I need a mover and a seconder. Councilor Foote. Councilor Scott. So everybody read this and fine with it? Well, it's long, but all our levies are on in a month, except for a special, but anyway, that's our biggest amounts are all the
Just one
levies.
levy missing. The OPP.
They're notoriously slow with their
Yeah.
invoices. We will get them.
I think I just got it in the mail 2 days after I did that one, so it'll be on the next one, but we had our second school boards on there and,
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
it's-
Well, I bring up the police one at every police service board meeting.
Mm.
so that the statement of accounts dated June 20th, 25th, July 4th, and 8th, 2026, totaling $658,310.14 be approved. All in favor? Mover and a seconder. That we pass bylaw number 2026-29, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held July 14th, 2026. Read this first, second, and third time and passed on this 14th day of July, 2026. All in favor? Oh,
Please.
yeah.
It is 7:20.
Need a mover and a seconder. Mr. Scott. Mr. Chilton. That the meeting be adjourned at 7:20 PM. Next regular council meeting to be held August 11th, 2026. All in favor?